Hey everybody, this is Dan and Jen coming to you from New York Comic Con. Today was the first day the con was open to the public, and it can easily be summed up as...
a giant box of nerds!
And yes, that's a huge box of nerds. No tricks with the camera there.
And apparently there are 52 little boxes of nerds in there.
Yes.
Approximately.
Give or take a half a box. We started off today with the Aniplex panel, and Jen, why don't you tell everybody what we've heard?
Well, the Aniplex guy kicked off things with some sort of rehash announcements of things that we'd already heard about. It talked about some Blue Exorcist release, some new stuff about Madoka, Oremo, Bacano, but he also talked about some things that are coming up soon. And one thing that I'm particularly interested in is that lunchbox set for Durarara. It looks like it comes with some posters, the lunchbox, obviously, which is awesome. And it's I think it's Blu-ray only, if I'm remembering properly.
I believe you're right. Yes.
Let's see. They also talked about Garden of Sinners.
Yeah. They're doing a re-release of Garden of Sinners in a limited edition with all 8 movies, an art book, and some postcards coming out November 20th. And they also mentioned a limited edition release of Bakemonogatari on Blu-ray, coming out November 20th. But when asked, they said they had no comment on the follow-up series Nisei Monogatari yet.
So in addition to several different releases that are coming up, he also mentioned some shows that you can actually watch online right now. They're working on, well, they actually licensed Sword Art Online, which they're planning a physical release for soon, but if you can't wait for that, you can catch it on Crunchyroll. Is there anywhere else you can find that?
Just on Crunchyroll, it looks like.
Okay. And in addition to Sword Art Online, we've got Magi, which we've reported on, right?
Yes. Magi is the series that stars Aladdin and on a search for treasure. That one can be seen both on Crunchyroll and Hulu. And we also, I believe you reported on Blade of Tempest, which was their other license, right?
Right. In Blade of Tempest, you've got this boy whose sister was murdered, and then you have a sorceress who is trapped on a deserted island, and the two of them come together to make their plans happen. That one, where can you watch that?
That one is Crunchyroll only, it looks like.
Okay. So I think that's simulcasting, right?
Yes.
It's simulcasting now.
Yes, Magi and Blast of Tempest are both currently simulcasting.
Yes, and those started up recently, so it's not too late to get started and not have to do a lot of catch-up. I think Sword Art Online has actually been coming out for a long time. It was last season too, right?
Yeah, it was a summer release. So.
But in addition to these things, something everybody got really excited about was a new trailer that we got to see for, okay, I'm going to pronounce this right, Huela Magi Madoka Magica. From here on out, I'm just calling it Madoka, but I had to pronounce it right once. So we got to see a new trailer for that. That was cool.
Yes. Yeah.
2 of the movies, actually, are going to be coming out here very soon. He gave us a time and ETA on that, right? Time frame?
They're both the later half of it. The showings are going to be in LA, San Francisco, Chicago, Houston, and New York. The latter half of this month, between October 19th and 25th in those cities. Right.
So if you didn't catch that, we named cities because it's actually going to be in theaters. And so if you live in any of those places or near them, well, kudos to you because you can actually go to the theater and watch it.
The rest of us will just have to wait for the actual disc releases that'll come eventually.
Right. And so to sum up this panel in a few words, I'm pretty sure the Aniplex guy used some variation of sleek, shiny, or cool to describe everything that he actually talked about. So, shiny was the word of the hour.
Yep. After that, we went to the Yoshitaka Amano panel. For those of you who are not familiar with that name, he's the character designer and artist for Vampire Hunter D, the novels, as well as the Final Fantasy series. And he's got a new work called Devazan coming out soon, but which I thought was what the panel was going to be about, but he really
Right.
didn't talk about it very much.
Yeah, so we did a little research on our own and found out that this is actually the first novel that he's actually written and illustrated.
Hmm.
So that's cool. That comes out October 31st, right?
Sounds right to me.
So he talked about that for all of a couple of sentences, and then we went pretty much straight into a Q&A.
Hmm.
People asked him about different things, like where he got his art inspiration from. Apparently the guy really likes Bambi. That's cool.
Yeah.
But I think the highlight of the whole panel was when he actually sat down and drew, I think, 4 or 5 pictures,
Hmm.
and it was projected onto a screen, and we could just watch him draw. I thought that was really neat. He just really quick sketches, and they all came out just absolutely beautifully. And those are going to be auctioned off for charity. Dan, what charity are they going to again?
I think it was the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund.
So some lucky people are going to give lots of money to charity and get an awesome quick sketch by Yoshitaka Amano.
Hmm.
So that's pretty nifty. After we got out of there, we actually headed up to the show floor and we got ourselves some hands-on time with Ni No Kuni.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I'm more excited than ever for that game to come out.
Yeah, we got a 10-minute hands-on with it over at the Namco booth, and we both really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was great.
It was beautiful. It was really easy to just pick up and play. We spent a little bit of time wandering around just the main world map, fighting battles here and there, and then spent the last minute or two wandering through the city just talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
And no hang-ups, no delays. The battle system was pretty straightforward for the most part.
It was really easy to just pick up and go.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, there wasn't even really a tutorial. You just kind of followed the right prompts. We got a chance to try out both. His name is Oliver. The main character, Oliver. We got to fight with him. And we also got to take control of his little spirit friends.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure what their name is in the game. It might be fairies.
I kind of think they are fairies, but I don't remember either.
Right. So we got to use some of them, and it looks like both the fairies and Oliver have access to spells and just general hitting attacks.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you get to see both Oliver and some little fairies bashing things with sticks. That's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm. So I can't wait for that to come out. Is it January?
I believe so.
Don't
quote us on that.
Yeah.
Check the website.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just gorgeous Ghibli artwork and good gameplay, at least for 10 minutes of it.
Yeah. After that, and a little more wandering around on the show floor, we headed off to the Sunrise panel. They're the people who did Gundam and Code Geass. And the first thing that they mentioned was that the Cowboy Bebop live-action movie is still actually on the table and hasn't been completely thrown away yet, but
yeah,
who knows how long that's going to be in development hell.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really heard anything about it for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
but they assured us that it's still happening, so if you were looking forward to that, just keep your ears open.
Mm-hmm. After that, they talked about some of their recent licenses.
Mm-hmm.
What can you rattle off a list?
Yeah, do you want to start with things that they've sort of already announced previously?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, of course, they talked about Tiger and Bunny. Lots of people love that one. They also talked about one called Phi Brain, Puzzle of God, and Excel World, which has actually been showing online for a while. I know you can watch at least that one.
Yes.
I think you can watch it through Viz?
I believe that one's on Viz. Yes,
Right.
Viz Anime.
And one that we actually covered a while back and just hadn't heard anything about for a while is Daily Lives of High School Boys. We actually got sort of the rough ETA on that one.
It's spring 2013.
From NIS.
Mm-hmm.
You
I was just going to say it's nice to finally start getting an ETA on that, since it feels like 6 months ago or more since NIS America announced that license.
Definitely. So in addition to those, they also talked about Horizon in the Middle of Nowhere and Bimogane.
Yes. All of those are pretty much all of those are either streaming right now on Funimation, Viz, Hulu, Crunchyroll, or Anime Network.
Right. So the bottom line is, if you're interested in any of those shows, you should definitely see if you can find them on some of the usual streaming places. They're available.
And after that, they talked about some shows that are coming out right now in Japan, and ones that are in the works. Battle Spirits, a show that started in September based on a card game series. After that, there was...
They talked about Gintama. Apparently there's a new series coming out in Japan soon.
Yep.
And they're also working on a movie.
Yes, which the movie's going to be out next year. And then there was Aikatsu and Love Live, the two different idol shows that they're working on.
Right. I think one is about one girl, and another is about 9 of them who form a group.
Yes. And the 9 formed the group to save their high school from getting closed down.
Right.
And probably the one that was most important for you.
Yes. They also discussed Code Geass Akito the Exiled. I'm kind of a fan of Code Geass in general, and I've been looking forward to the spin-off for a while, just haven't heard much about it. It looks like... What kind of information have we got on that?
It's a 4-episode series. The first one aired in August, and the second one is in production right now. It takes place between seasons 1 and 2 of the Lelouch storyline. And
one interesting thing that they said they hadn't really mentioned anywhere else was something about a new 3D model of the Lancelot, which if you've seen the series, that's the mech that one of the main characters in Code Geass actually pilots. So I'm a little confused about it. They didn't talk about action figures or anything like that, so I'm not sure if they meant, oh, we're going to release a 3D figure of the Lancelot, or if they meant that they're going to have a 3D model of it in the show itself, in Akito the Exiled. So I guess we'll find out.
Other shows they talked about were Psychic School Wars, which is based on a light novel that was written back in the 70s. Apparently there have been like 6 different live adaptations of it, and this is the first animated adaptation.
Right.
A children's movie called Zorori, the Naughty Hero Super Adventure.
That's a mouthful.
It's based on a series of books that have been going on for the last 25 years. There's a feature-length movie coming out in Japan this winter.
Yep.
And then one other movie, The Tiger and Bunny, The Beginning. The movie recently premiered in San Francisco to a sellout crowd. It takes place during the first couple episodes of the TV series. And it looks like Viz has licensed it, so we'll see what kind of physical releases they'll be getting soon.
Right. Hopefully they'll actually get us some more information on that soon so we can do a write-up about it.
Definitely. And then they rounded out the show talking about some Gundam stuff.
Yes. If you liked Gundam Seed, they're planning an HD remaster of it, and no word on when that actually is going to come out, but they're working on it.
Well,
or is there word on when it comes out?
It's been released over the internet via en.gundam.info, but no word on a physical release as of yet.
Right.
Additionally, they had the Gundam Unicorn. They talked a bit about that series, which has been going on for quite some time.
It's very slowly.
Yes, the 5th episode came out in March, and the 6th one is set to come out next spring in 2013.
So you can start counting down the months.
And one last piece of Gundam information was that someone inquired about the Gundam an Origin anime, and they said that it's coming, but they wouldn't talk about anything else.
Right. So if you've been hearing that rumor floating around, it's been confirmed.
So that about wraps up today's coverage for the con.
Yep.
Look forward to another video from us tomorrow when we talk about our interview with Tales producer Hideo Baba and more coverage around the whole...
Yeah, we'll probably get another
center.
chance to do some hands-on with some more video games. We're also planning to go to the Pokemon Black and White 2 launch event tomorrow, so expect pictures from that coming soon. And we'll have a chance to try out the new games, although we both already have them. So I guess we're just going to go in Street Pass.
Pretty much.
But it'll be fun. There are supposed to be people dressed up as Pokemon that we can take pictures with.
Yep.
So we'll see what it's like.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Have a good night.